Hi, and welcome back to GLEN TV. We're here at the Ontario Student Leadership Conference, and I got speaker Mark Black that's sitting with me. Now, we met about 2 years ago at a leadership event. Well, actually, it was a youth speakers event about 2 years ago in San Diego, California. He had an amazing story, made a great impression on me, and I'm proud to call you a friend for a couple of years now.
Me too.
So, Mark's got an interesting story. What can you tell us, Mark?
Well, basically, 12 years ago, I was 23 years old. I sat down across from a doctor who, after tests and a series of evaluations, said, Mark, you have about a year left to live. And he gave me two options: go home and spend that year with your family, or we can try and get you on a transplant list and potentially save your life. The odds of having the transplant were not good, but they were clearly better than going home to die. So that was the option we took, and that took us on a year-long roller coaster that fortunately ended fairly well.
Oh, fantastic. And what did you end up doing after the surgeries? And this is the great part.
So I kind of stumbled into this thing called professional speaking, and started to share some of the lessons and strategies that I'd employed to help me survive with anybody that would listen, essentially, and then discovered that you could actually kind of make a living at this if you learned a bit about how to run a business and how to market yourself, etc. And that was 10 years ago, and I've been doing it ever since.
Nice. Now, as a motivational youth speaker, what do you think are some of the biggest challenges that our youth face today?
Wow, a lot of. So, bullying is a big one, because traditionally our view of bullying is first of all physical, and second of all something that you face when you go to school. And now kids, because of social media and the internet, kids can't hide from the bullies because they can get at them in their pockets. Right. And so that's become a huge problem. Linked to that in an indirect way, I think, is the lack of accountability that youth have, or the lack of sense of self-efficacy. So in other words, I believe, are raising a generation, and actually some of them are already reaching teenage years, of kids who have had their power taken away from them accidentally by parents who overprotected them. So in other words, we don't want to see kids get hurt. We don't want to watch our kids.
Parent.
We don't want to watch our kids fail. We don't want to see them in pain, and so we try and protect them from that. It's a natural parental instinct. I'm a parent. I get it. Problem is that indirectly what ends up happening is that we handicap those children because we don't allow them to discover the coping mechanisms that the rest of us would naturally learn by dealing with problems.
Right.
And so what ends up happening is they get to a point where mom and dad can't protect me anymore because I'm out in the world and I don't have the skills that I should have, that I should have developed along the way to survive. Right? And so if you compare it to, other animals, right? Mama bird throws baby bird out of the nest and makes it fly, because if it doesn't fly, it dies.
That's it.
Right? We don't do that to our kids anymore, and so what happens? They get thrown into the nest without the skills learned to fly, and what happens? So to me, that's, if I had to pick the biggest challenge I think that most teens have, is that they're walking out into a world that they're not prepared for because their problems have been solved for them for too long.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so you have the GLEN TV audience out there watching this. What kind of advice, or what would you like to say to the audience watching this as we close this off?
Wow. I guess what I would say is, if you work with teens, or if you're a parent, don't deprive them of the opportunity of learning that comes from facing challenges and obstacles. Don't cripple them by trying to fix all of their issues for them. Allow them to fall down, allow them to fail. Yes, be there to protect them from ultimate disaster, right? We don't want them to drown, but it's okay if they struggle in the water a little bit. It's okay to trip up and fall. It's gonna make them better, it's gonna make them stronger, it's gonna give them what they need to ultimately succeed in life. And so don't be afraid to allow kids to struggle a little bit. It's good for them.
Nice. Okay, so where can people find out more about you? You got a website?
Yeah, markblack.ca. Really, it's easy, markblack.ca, and that links to all of the different stuff that I have going on, so it's the easiest way to find me.
Awesome. So I want to thank you so much for joining me here on GLEN TV. It's been a pleasure. Wise words to listen to. I hope you got something out of this episode, and we'll catch you next time here on GLEN TV. Thanks.